Hey, what's up, everybody? This is the KMN 1971, back with another comic book haul. I know I said I was going to hold off on doing comic book hauls on my channel for a little while and concentrate more on comic book collection spotlight videos, but I was under the false impression that I was going to be buying less comics over the past couple of weeks, rather, and that simply has not been the case, which I'm sure a bunch of you sitting at home can understand. So, I have about 27 back issues and a nice stack of current comics, so let's just jump right into it. Oh, and I also have a couple of corrections from my last video that I want to get to. So, kicking it off this week, Die, 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 #1 from Robert Kirkman and Chris Burnham. I really like this title. It was a surprise to me. I wasn't up on this surprise release. The only reason that it was in my pull list is because I am subscribed to Oblivion Song. So my LCS owner gave everyone the option of picking this book up, and I did. And I'm glad that I did. It reminds me of that kind of ultraviolet Garth Ennis type story, which is great with me. So I would recommend it. Being a Superman fan, I just could not decide which cover I wanted. So I ended up picking up both. So we have Superman the David Mack cover, as well as the Adam Hughes cover. Most of the time, 9.5 times out of 10, I prefer Adam Hughes' art over David Mack's. But this is that 1 time out of 10. I really like this David Mack cover. So, both of them are great, don't get me wrong. But awesome stuff. And I have to say, I really like this title too. Another new DC title that I've been digging is Hawkman. So here's Hawkman #1 and Hawkman #2. Just two beautiful variant covers. DC has just been killing it with these variant covers. So, great stuff. Once again, I haven't read a Hawkman comic in years. And, yeah, so far I'm digging it. The polarizing Batman #50. I won't get into it too much. It was a good anniversary issue. I thought those splash pages by A-list artists was a bit repetitious, I guess. But it was just really to drive the point home to like really piss you off once you get to the end of the issue. Tom King has said that he has a 100-issue story plan, which is basically a Batman and Catwoman love story. So I would pump the brakes on the haterade, you know. So if this issue did really aggravate you story-wise and not for as a collector, just hoping that you would have that variant cover with Batman getting married to Catwoman, but if it pissed you off story-wise, then Tom King did a good job because he didn't want you feeling good once you got to the end of this issue. That's for sure. So I'm in for the long haul, and I still say this is a great run on the Batman franchise. A book a little less polarizing that everyone can agree on, Batman #49, with this gorgeous Art Germ cover and a great Selina Kyle Joker story in between the covers. Great stuff. Of course, I had to pick Catwoman #1 up to see what the fallout was from issue #50, and pretty good stuff. I'm probably not going to follow it on a monthly basis, but I love this Art Germ cover, obviously. One title that I have really been digging as of lately, Deathstroke #33. This is the Mattina variant cover. Once again, the guy's just killing it. It's not his best cover for this particular series of covers, but still incredible. This book right here is kind of shot up into my top 3 most anticipated of the month. Justice League #2 with this beautiful Jim Lee variant, as well as #3. Once again, another beautiful Jim Lee variant cover. Love it. Love this title. Another anniversary issue, Star Wars #50. I had to pick up this Darth Vader cover, but unfortunately I must have had something on my fingertips because I ended up sputzing up the cover. So I might have to get another copy. I'm not sure, but unfortunately the story didn't impress me. It was more like 3/4 of this issue was all build up. So as an anniversary issue, that just doesn't really jive with me. But it does put the franchise in a very interesting spot, so I'm really looking forward to issue #51. And lastly, the end of an era. Again, Amazing Spider-Man #801, the variant cover. I'm not even sure. I think this is part of those connecting covers. But good stuff, and Spider-Man, I'll see you again someday down the road. And the last of the kind of current issues, I ended up picking this up. Batgirl number 20, the Josh Middleton B cover. I figured with all the hype that was going around with issue number 23, I figured why not pick this up off the rack for cover price minus 30%. Now, when I picked this up, it was probably about 2 weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago, and this book online was already, because when I was searching out other Josh Middleton Batgirl covers, this book was hovering around like $12, $15, and now it's like a $20, $20+ book, so I would be on the lookout for it. And aside from issue number 23, this is probably my favorite Middleton Batgirl cover. All the detail that goes into her jacket and the snow around her, it's awesome. Alright, now onto some corrections from last week. So, sometimes during these videos, I don't know what's coming out of my mouth. I don't try to throw any kind of like alternative facts out there. God knows there's too many of those floating around in the world nowadays, so I try not to put anything out there that's kind of like a false narrative, but sometimes it just happens. So, this is the Empire Strikes Back paperback edition, the first true appearance of Yoda, Boba Fett, and Lando Calrissian in comic book form, and I said that my reasoning for going after this was, one, a childhood nostalgia and being a Star Wars fan, and two, that I said that Boba Fett was going to have his own ongoing series. What I was trying to say was that he was supposed to have his own solo spin-off movie. So that was going to be directed by the director of Logan, which I was pretty psyched for. But for some reason, ongoing comic book came out of my mouth. So I apologize for that. And I guess the point might be moot because Solo has lost so much money that allegedly all Star Wars spin-off movies have been put on the back burner for now. So, we'll see. But I find it very hard to believe that the House of Mouse won't throw a Boba Fett movie out to us at some point or another, because the fans have been clamoring for it. And another correction. Savage Tales number 1. And yes, I still love this book. Love it. But, I said that this reprinted The Frost Giant's Daughter, that I believe I said it was in Conan the Barbarian number 21, and I was wrong. Even though I own the books, I still think that for some reason with all my comics I have this photographic memory, which like maybe 80% of the time, 85% of the time I do, but I was off on this one. The actual issue that reprinted the Snow Giant's Daughter was actually Conan the Barbarian number 16. So, there you go. Alright. That takes care of the correction part of me eating crow. So let's get on to the back issues. Kicking it off, Silver Surfer, The Coming of Galactus. I already own a slab copy of Fantastic Four number 48, but it is on my list that I want number 49 and 50 to complete the original Galactus Silver Surfer storyline. And anytime I get books like that, I don't like to really read them over and over again, so this actually reprints 48 through 50, so when I eventually do get those issues, this will be my reader. Necrosha, The Gathering, number 1. I didn't really know anything about this crossover. For some reason, it fell under the radar, but I guess all of these covers were homages to vampire movies. Not necessarily good vampire movies, but vampire movies. And this cover homages Vampires, the movie Vampires from the 1990s that had James Woods in it. An example of a vampire movie that was not good. But the X-Men, I'm a fan of the X-Men, I'm a fan of homage covers, and I am a fan of vampire horror movies. So if I see these on the cheap, these vampire movie homages, I'm definitely going to pick them up. Moving along, X-Men Legacy, number 214. I paid $2 for this. And this features the first appearance of Miss Sinister. Even though I have to say, is it really the first full appearance of Miss Sinister? Because I'm pretty sure she just appears on the splash page, on the last page of the story, so not so sure. But I picked this up, and it's funny, you'll be seeing this issue in one of my dollar bin binges from the fringes, because I also picked up an issue of this in actually better condition for $1. Venom, what is this? Volume 3, maybe? Number 6. And this features the issue where Eddie Brock is finally reunited with the symbiote. So, I thought this would be a kind of cool issue to have. I haven't really checked out any Venom stuff since probably like the 1990s. So definitely in catch-up mode right now, but it was pretty good. G.I. Joe number 14, another little piece of my childhood, returned back home. And this contains the first appearance of old Chrome Dome himself, Destro. Love that action figure back in the day. No Prize Book, number 1. Only reason I picked this up is because it features Stan the Man prominently on the cover. I know. Hope that guy is doing okay, man. I've heard some scary stuff. Scary, sad stuff. Conan number 30 from the Dark Horse series, Mike Mignola variant cover, and now I thought I had this 3-part storyline completed, but I didn't. This was the last part that I needed, and now I can finally read this Mike Mignola 3-parter. Mike Mignola and Conan just seemed like a match made in heaven. I ended up picking up my second copy of Firestorm the Nuclear Man, number 1. As you can see, I still haven't even taken it out of its the bag yet. It needs to be rebagged. But Firestorm is one of those old school childhood favorites of mine. Love the character. Still waiting for him to have his day. Machine Man number 1. Love those Bronze Age premiere issues. Jack Kirby. Can't go wrong. Sticking on in the Bronze Age. Tomb of Dracula number 58. Still forever chopping down that Tomb of Dracula run. And this features a Blade solo story. The Incredible Hulk 193. Love those Bronze Age and Silver Age Hulk versus issues. Can't get enough of them. So this one he's throwing down with Doc Samson. Here's a book that's really not worth anything, maybe like $5-6, but check out that Paul Gulacy cover. Man, that is beautiful. And I have to say this is in a tie for cover of the haul. You'll be seeing my other favorite cover shortly. Really psyched about this issue. The Hands of Shang-Chi, the Master of Kung Fu, number 17. And this is basically Master of Kung Fu number 1. Shang-Chi debuted in Special Marvel Edition number 16. Number 15. And then number 16 was his second appearance. This is his third appearance, but this is when they officially changed the title to Master of Kung Fu. So it's kind of like Master of Kung Fu number 1. Another Bronze Age classic that I wanted to have. Illustrated by Jim Starlin. Iron Fist number 12. I already own a copy, but when I bought it, it had like tape on the back cover, and you know what that means, restoration and a VG grade at best. So this is a slight upgrade. This is probably fine minus, maybe a 5.5, maybe a 6.0, not sure, but happy to have it. Still chipping away at that Iron Fist Bronze Age run. And here is the other coal holder for cover of the haul. Venom number 1. I want to say this is volume 3 also, from the same one that number 6 was from. And first time I saw this cover, I want to say it was in the Dooms video, and I even commented, I'm like, oh man, that is my favorite Venom cover of all time. And since that time, nothing has changed, except the price in this book has come down a little bit. So, love the detail in the arms. It's just incredible. Love Gabriel Delato's artwork. He's been kind of under my radar as of lately, but I thought that his best work, from my opinion, was his Original Sin variant covers. Gamora, Ant-Man, Doctor Strange, The Punisher, The Winter Soldier. I just think those are awesome. I love his X-23 variant cover, and this, it's my opinion that this belongs in that same class. This is by far my favorite Venom cover. Awesome stuff. Great. Another minor key, but I love the potential. Batman Beyond Unlimited, the first appearance of Batgirl Beyond. Low print run. I'm assuming this is the last issue of this series, and who knows? This is my own version of speculation. I haven't heard anything about this character, but seeing that DC is going to be having their own streaming service, who knows? if she could get her own animated series. Character mashups and gender swapping, like one of the comic book gimmicks of the moment right now. So who's to say that you wouldn't get an animated series with Batgirl Beyond? And after that, who knows? But either way, I love Batman-oriented first appearances, so I had to have it. Even if nothing happens with this character, I thought it was still pretty damn cool. Book that I'm surprised that I hadn't had in my collection up until this point. John Constantine, Hellblazer, #1. Picked it up for like $10. Alright, the next couple are a couple of stealth buys. So, I walk into one of my LCSs where I usually get my Bronze Age and Silver Age stuff from, and he doesn't really have a lot of modern issues. So, a couple of weeks ago, he told me he had stuff from the quote-unquote 90s that was garbage that he wanted to sell to me for $1 an issue. I was like, alright, but he never brought the box down, so I guess he took some stuff out that he didn't think was garbage, and he priced it out of the dollar bins. So, he had a nice run of Sandman, one of those runs that I've been collecting on the side. Now, even though I had all of these issues that I picked up, these next 3 issues that I picked up, I had to pick them up just on principle. So, here's Sandman #4, which has the first appearance of Lucifer, near mint condition, $5. Can't turn that away, right? But then underneath that, for $10, a near mint condition of Sandman #1. I love this series, love this character, and if there was any series that was tailor-made for like HBO or the DC streaming service, this would be it. When I heard there was going to be a Sandman movie, I was kind of bummed about it, because this would be better served as an ongoing series. And not only did they have that there for $10, they also had another copy of Sandman #1 for $10. I paid like $50 for this comic about maybe 3 or 4 years, no, probably 2 years ago. This was featured in my very first comic book collection, well, not my first comic book collection spotlight video, but my very first comic book haul. So, very happy. 2 issues of Sandman #1 and #4 for $25. Sweet. About time. I haven't had any stealth buys in quite some time. Okay, moving on. I didn't get a chance because I loathe Walmart. So I couldn't bring myself to go there for those 100-page giants, but I did pick up this DC 100-page Super Spectacular, DC-14. I thought this was one of those giant-sized Batman issues, but I guess it's just one of those old-school DC 100-page Super Spectaculars. And it just reprints a bunch of stories from like the Golden Age and maybe the Silver Age, but I think it's mostly all Golden Age stuff that's in here. Probably fine minus condition, but a great addition to my Batman collection. Alright, a couple of oversized books before I space them out. Savage Sword of Conan, #4. Just tilt that up a little bit. And I'm not going to try to get a full run of this, but the first couple of issues of Savage Sword do hold a little bit of value. So this was only $5, and I think this can be like, what, a $10 to $20 book. Beautiful, beautiful cover, as they usually are with Savage Sword of Conan. And also features little 4-page pinups by this quote-unquote underground artist at the time named Richard Corbin. Really cool. And speaking of really cool, Blang. Once again, probably only a $10 to $15 book, but this is the Rocketeer graphic novel from Eclipse Comics, and this contains the entire original Rocketeer storyline. So I already own the first 3 parts. I never actually, well, I actually don't know where the final 2 parts of the original Rocketeer storyline go, but in this oversized format, beautifully colored, I only paid $10 for this, which is about what it goes for. But beautiful Dave Stevens art, and I would recommend this to anyone. Introduction by Haulin Ellison, Dave Stevens, 2 creative juggernauts that are unfortunately no longer with us. So, highly, highly recommended. Alright, down to, let's see, last 4 books. Love my Amazing Spider-Man Bronze Age, so Amazing Spider-Man #109 with a team-up with Doctor Strange, which is always cool. And staying on the Doctor Strange kick, Strange Tales #168. This book is in very fine condition, at least, and I love that anytime I can find Silver Age in high grade like this. Paid $30 for this. This is the last issue of Strange Tales before Doctor Strange takes over the title. And it also features Jim Steranko, a Jim Steranko Shield backup story, which is pretty awesome. A shout out to Strangeblade for showcasing this book in the background of multiple videos of his. And this was a book also that I didn't know about, but after seeing it in his video and seeing how awesome this cover looks, I had to pick it up once I saw it in one of my LCSs. Once again, $30 hauler. And just if once you do buy this book, just flip, read it if you want to. But if you're not going to read it, at least go to the spread, this awesome spread page in the middle. Awesome, beautiful stuff. And now for the pick of the haul. Tales of Suspense, number 59. Great book that's been on my list for a long time. This is the first time that Captain America starts his own solo series. And from this point on, from issue number Tales of Suspense number 59, Captain America has been in a monthly periodical format ever since. So started a long-running tradition with this issue. I love comic book history and love owning issues like this. I mean, Captain America done by Stan Lee and Jack Kirby. Awesome. So this book was $50. Most expensive book in the haul for me. I'm trying to stay real economic now, and love this book. No chipping, no dog ears. The only thing wrong with it, it does have a bit of a spine roll and a bit of a miswrap. So I would probably put it in the 5.5 range. But hey, man, I'm very happy with that for that price. Awesome stuff. So that's all I have for this week. Thank you all for watching, liking, and subscribing as always. Smash that like button. I feel so trendy. I said smash that like button for the first time. Help me with the algorithm. Yeah, that's about it. So enjoy your weekend. Take care. I'll see you next time. Actually, I'll see you next week. See ya.